Hey, everybody. Thank you for attending, reviewing this week's episode of the Sensei Playbook podcast, medical marketing strategy for you to do less and impact more. And I have got an amazing half hour for you. We have Faisal Saleem of the Children's Medical Group of Greater Atlanta. And I promise you, this gentleman is the most heart-centered medical professional I have met to date. He is full of wisdom. He is titled as the Chief Operating Officer, but I promise you, his knowledge and understanding of patient experience, hospitality, marketing, and growth is going to blow your mind. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Sensei Playbook, the ultimate how-to podcast for growing and amplifying your brand within the digital world's 3-second landscape. Join Bill Courtwright and Chris Snellgrove as they discuss the right tools and strategies for building the best online marketing strategy for your business. Tune in to leading business leaders who share information and impart inspiration on providing smooth customer experience and successfully scaling your venture. This is your chance to achieve rapid growth in the highly competitive online market. Let's get this episode started with your hosts, Bill and Chris.
Faisal, the medical field today, it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of volatility. Value for the patient and transparency and understanding is still very, very important. But the Children's Medical Group of Atlanta and Greater Atlanta is not what you and your doctors and nurses say that it is, but rather what your patients tell future patients that it is. If medical today is not about the services we provide, but rather the assurances we deliver and the safety that we create, what are you and the Children's Medical Group doing to make sure that patients feel safe and cared for before they come in?
Really good question. What I'll say is that we have been constantly evolving. So if we see a shortcoming in our delivery, we discuss it and discuss it even more, and then make a decision to move forward with whatever we want to make, bring change to. So I don't know, maybe a recent example I can give you is that there was a very, when patients walk into a practice, right, and you hand them paperwork, hey, fill this out. And each time they come in and they fill it out from scratch, that's a slow process. So before we had some options available, we looked into solutions. So we would print out forms which will have filled out information already, so that they will just review it and mark off on, hey, this is updated, my address is updated, and then we will update it in our system. But the way industry is moving is they are putting that in the patient's hand. So by that I mean is we recently implemented a new system which allows us to send a text message to the patient, hey, before you come in, please fill out this information. And that integrates into our EHR, electronic health record. And it's easy and convenient to check them in. They can pay online. They don't have to wait in the waiting area. They can just walk in from their cars directly to the exam room, be seen by the provider right away, or our triaging nurses. And then, their time spent at the practice is much less. And I think that's what they mostly appreciate. I'm sure you all have been to practices where you are just waiting and waiting for the provider to show up. So we are trying to make that as much convenient as possible. But as far as so not everything can be marketed, but obviously, when you become a patient of our practice, you start realizing that, okay, we have built conveniences for them. They can pick up a phone and, hey, can I speak to the billing department, instead of going to one line and speaking with the front office, and then they try to figure out who do I need to forward this call to. So we have made conveniences like that, and we are constantly evolving. I'm not going to say we are perfect, but I will say this, that I truly believe we are the best in Atlanta, and truly believe we are the best in the United States. And our goal is to be the best in the world as well. So, and we have plenty of ideas. I mean, as far as marketing, it has changed tremendously. We have looked into a lot of organizations and implemented them, and now we're looking at a different strategy. So if you have this growth mindset, flexible mindset, I think you'll be okay.
And do y'all host regular meetings, Faisal, on patient experience? Do y'all talk about it in staff meetings?
We do, and it's like a daily thing, but definitely we talk about it on a monthly basis with the boards and management, and anything that comes up, the patients can talk straight up to the office managers or me directly. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very well said. That's amazing. Yeah, I definitely realize or have learned in working with medical practices that patient experience and that what they call the consumerization of healthcare, and really recognizing that patients today have choices, and you need to win them as much as serve them, and you can't serve them until you win them. So the fact that you're recognizing that, yeah, I think that's incredible. And I have no doubt you are number one. And if you're not number one in the world, you certainly will be soon. Look out, world.
Yeah. And I truly believe that, the doctors I work with, they are the best. We are established since 1947. And throughout these years, the older doctors have taken the best decisions to bring this culture internally that cares for patients. So, and I've seen that with my eyes, and I truly appreciate them. I truly think they are the best.
And how did you get to come about being with the Children's Medical Group and these amazing doctors?
So I was doing my master's degree, and when you first join a master's degree and you're introducing yourself, professor asks you, "What do you want to do?" So I said, "Hey, I'm a consultant. I'm always traveling, and I would like to stay in healthcare. I love working in healthcare with clients." And so I was traveling around the country and helping clients all around the country with implementing different electronic health records and looking at their processes and looking at their billing and all that. But I told my professor, like, once I'm done with my master's, I would like to find something local and really help them grow. So, and to, I guess whatever you wish for, it becomes true. And it happened in my case. When I was I think it was the second last week of my degree, or the last week, one of the doctors who was the president at that time reached out to my professor. He's like, "Do you have any candidate that you can recommend?" And she recommended my name. And so I went for an interview, and I guess the rest is history. So they really liked me. I really liked them, it all worked out. And to be very honest, like, as a consultant, you are always with different groups, and you don't feel that belonging to, like, okay, I belong to this group and this group of doctors and this organization. You don't really own it, And so when I joined CMG, they gave me that opportunity where I felt like I was at home, and I sort of spread my wings to really, like, let's bring change to this organization. And since then, it's a nonstop growth, nonstop implementation. Some of my colleagues, my staff, they mentioned since you joined, it's like somebody stepped on the gas and we are now running at 100 miles per hour. Not that I'm maybe giving a wrong example, but I like to listen to that I'm not stuck in a mindset, and like to grow the organization and help the practice, listen to patients, listen to the providers, bring change.
How many years now, Faisal, have you been with the group?
How many, sorry?
How many years have you been with the group?
I joined in 2018, so 5+.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And how do you introduce yourself as what do you say that you do at the Children's Medical Group?
Yeah, so when they hired me, my title was Vice President of Operations, and we didn't have any management staff at that time. I was the only one working, worked long hours, and really felt good about it. But I knew that I was going to bring change to the organization, so slowly and steadily hired the right people in management. And then they saw me in a bigger position, so they offered me the Chief Operations Officer position. And so literally all aspects of the organization, I'm involved, from the smallest things to the biggest decisions. I will say that, the nurses come to me, the lab staff come to me, and they tell me, "Hey, my device is not working. Can you help us integrate or connect it or resolve the issue?" And then I'm at the board meetings making decisions for the whole organization. So I'm not hesitant to step on the floor and help the nurses, and I'm not hesitant to go to the board meeting. So it has been a wonderful journey. And anytime I meet any youngsters, and maybe immigrants, I tell them, "Hey, don't be shy. Take the risk. It will pay off. But believe in yourself, And yeah, that's my story. That's how I guess I introduced myself.
That's awesome. What what changes have you seen in the industry over the past 5 years that you've been immersed?
Oh my God, it's nonstop. But I'll say this, let me give you a bigger picture of what's happening in the Atlanta area. So that will give you a little more insight into why the Atlanta pediatricians are a little better than the rest of the country. Maybe that's happening, that culture is happening other places as well. So as I said, my providers are industry leaders. And why do I say that? So early on, they realized that there was a need for all pediatricians to come together, and especially the independent practices. So what they did was they gathered everyone in the Atlanta area as much as they could, and they created an organization. Now, many years later, the government sort of call it accountable care organization, where the ACO helps the practices. They're sort of a centralized organization that reaches out to these practices and provides them services such as contracting and HR related issues or claim issues, or you name it, anything related to the practice, ACO will help you out. So, but yeah, so my providers went out and they sort of got everyone together and they formed this organization, and this organization then really supported all the practices. So think about getting a malpractice insurance. Think about payers contracts. We now don't have to think about it. I mean, we do, but it's done by this organization for us. So all collectively coming together really helped the whole pediatricians, group in the Atlanta area. So that's just like the landscape right now. And then, if you can please remind me the question one more time, I just want to make sure I'm answering it correctly.
Well, just the changes that you've seen occur in the
Yeah.
healthcare industry
Yeah.
over the past few years.
So I guess the reason I was giving this example was because the challenges are there, but we have this organization and this centralized organization, Kids Health First, and they're helping us with all these challenges. So, for example, when the pandemic hit, a lot of practices didn't know how to really have a workflow, so they set up a workflow step by step, and sent it to us. And they constantly sent those updates every week. We realized that there was a need for online check-in, so we implemented that change like that. We have implemented HR solutions, payroll solutions, marketing solutions. We upgraded our EHR to the latest and greatest, so we comply with all the industry standards. We upgraded our lab technology. We were during pandemic, when somebody used to come in and do the COVID test, we would make it convenient for them so that they don't feel uncomfortable coming into the practice and spreading, COVID. So we would go outside. So we sort of had this drive-through kind of setups. And so, since 2018, changes and changes and changes. And I truly believe every change has really made us better.
Most certainly. Most certainly. And you know what? When I talk to an operator like yourself, or chief operating officer, which you're well deserved of that title, it's rare that I hear the word growth or service as much as I do when I'm talking to you, Faisal. So what is it about growth and operations? How did you marry those two philosophies so that you're seen as a partner for the future of the practice and not just someone that's keeping it together?
I would say I don't have a fixed mindset. That's the one difference that you will see with me. I'm not. I'm flexible, and I don't want to use a lot of words, but it's not just me. It's the team we have. It's the doctors, the nurse practitioners, the management team. They all came together to make this happen. It's not just me. I'll be honest with you. My managers are outstanding, and they bring so much value to the practice. Really appreciate them.
Wow,
it's people. Awesome. It's people.
Yeah.
In terms of marketing, Faisal, what are the marketing initiatives like? How do you market the actual practice?
So we have this. I would say this is we had to try it out, and then we thought, now we are thinking it's probably not the best strategy. So We started spending on Google Ads and other advertisements, and none of it has really helped us grow. We are mostly growing organically because people hear from word of mouth, and that helps us grow. So I'm thinking now that we need to change our strategy to organically grow us. And what that means is I'm pushing my providers and asking them to come up front and talk to the community and make videos, write up articles, engage them, let them feel comfortable with you. And especially the Gen Z generation, they are craving for that. They want to see the providers they're going to bring their kids to, and make a better decision. So we are working on this right now. That's our strategy. I'm not going to be sponsoring myself on Google Ads and other platforms. Nothing against them. They're helping us grow, but I feel like it's not the best way to grow your organization.
And I take it that the content that you're asking the providers to produce will be pushed out social media. Is that the idea?
Social media, our website, anywhere we can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Social media offers an incredible opportunity. We call it, user generated content is the hottest trending thing right now on social media. And, it used to be, you bring in the professional videographers and produce these beautiful, polished, produced, high production videos. Now it's, holding up a camera phone and walking around the practice or whatever business you have. And that trend's the best. That's what people really, I think, can relate to. And it just resonates. And for that reason, it's, the algorithms on that really open up on social media, and they show that content off. So it's very, very powerful. So I think it's a brilliant strategy. Getting your people to get involved in that. That's a smart play.
Yeah. And I think, as far as when I think about larger enterprise organizations, I feel bad for them because they're stuck in this circle where they're not allowed to promote their enterprise organization, but we're lucky we're a private practice and we can make our own rules. And so I'm looking forward to this, this project.
Yeah. I know y'all, are you tapping into any of the tools such as AI in those marketing efforts?
It's not yet, but we're going in that direction. Like the talk, it's just being discussed in the whole organization. And so from EHR perspective, electronic health records perspective, it is definitely coming. We are looking forward to upgrading our system to one that will help the doctors document better, bill better, make it convenient for patients, hopefully it will help patients spend less time in the exam rooms and be more connected with our providers. So artificial intelligence is going to help from every aspect. I think it's the best thing since we went electronic, instead of writing on papers, the medical records, now it's on electronically. So I think this is the next step, this is going to really improve it. We may look into upgrading our telephone servers, all our whole technology, basically. We will definitely try to upgrade to any AI support.
How many offices do you have now? How many locations?
Yeah, we have 3 locations, 30 providers, mix of doctors and nurse practitioners. We have a pretty busy practice. All 3 locations are about the same size, pretty large practices, locations. And we are in pretty much the heart of Atlanta, So.
Yeah, I love the office with the train. You'll have the train that goes around the lobby.
Yep.
The kids gotta love that.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, everyone just smashing on that button, hey. And sometimes it breaks down, and so they're like, hey, why is it not working? Because you smashed the button too many times,
Right.
Yeah.
That's the remarkability, that difference, that uniqueness, that authentic uniqueness that people crave. And to your point, regardless of generation, people want to know their provider. They want to know their doctor. They want to know, who's going to be caring for them or their child. And, I just, so much wisdom out of what you're saying. I mean, yes, you're at the forefront, you're leveraging technology, but there's an awareness that things can be better and that things can really be more patient centric. And there's absolutely no mystery as to why you are so great at what you do. It's just this empathy and just understanding that, you know, it's, we serve them and it's, they're driving the bus, and we are literally existing to serve them. And I think that the way that you weave that throughout your operation, and the way that it's obviously at the forefront of your marketing, to Chris's point on social, and that relatability that's so important. You know, we say credibility plus relatability equals opportunity. Credibility, do you know what you're doing? And relatability, do you understand me, your audience? Because if you do, I'll give you a chance. And then you got to follow through as promised, and I'll be a patient for life. But I just love hearing what you're saying, and kudos to you and your practice for all the excellent work. Can you give our listeners and viewers a kind of glimpse into the future? You know, we talked about staying on the cutting edge, but where do you think medicine, specifically for children, is going in the next decade?
It's a really good question. I might be wrong in answering this, but I'll try. But before I go there, I would like to say this, that if I tell you the stories that I've seen in these last 5 years, you will be just so amazed. One of our provider, Dr. Mark Hudson, I think he's nominated and won like 11 years in a row the best pediatrician in Atlanta. When the media houses, they want to record a pediatrician, they come speak to our doctors, you know. Dr. Shu gives interviews all the time. I mean, every doctor in the organization they are like diamonds, you know. So anyway, as far as future, definitely expect technology to be part of it, you know. There's no doubt artificial intelligence is going to take over, but we don't want to, like, let me say this. My providers are so thoughtful of their staff. So whenever we are implementing technology, they tell me, we don't want to let go our staff. So they have that personal touch to everything. They want to care for their staff. And it's not that, you know, we don't think of from business perspective, you know, our overhead expenses and all that, but they truly care for their staff. And that's where you can really see it, you know. They have done so much for the staff. But technology is definitely coming, and we cannot stop it. You know, if we don't adopt it, we'll be left behind. I mean, I'm sure if you look around, you know, you will see some providers still on paper charts. So I doubt that they're providing the best service for their patients. They may be in their minds, but they might be lacking a lot of conveniences for their patients. You know, like I would like to pick up the phone and look at my medical records. I cannot do that with paperwork or paper charts. So definitely that. And then there's going to be, United States is going to be maybe one of the most integrated countries in the world, where the charts are just readily available. God forbid somebody gets into an accident, they should be able to pull their charts right there and know all their histories and provide services accordingly, you know. So the government is going to be pushing on that. There's going to be a lot of transparency on billing, on clinical services. I'm all for it. Like, we need transparency in the medical industry, and it's really much needed, you know. When you are a patient and you want to get a service and you want to know, okay, how much this MRI is going to cost me, you should know the cost of it if you go to organization A, B, and C, and then you make the right decision. That's not happening right now. I mean, yes, the government has some rules organizations have to follow, but it's still not as visible. Like, if you ask a common man, they might still not know where to go and look the best services at affordable prices, you know. So a lot of transparency is going to really improve healthcare. The technology, transparency, what else? I mean, I think a lot of organizations are going to consolidate as well. And it's pretty normal, organic, where smaller organizations will merge with larger organizations. So a lot of mergers are going to happen as well. And you probably see that at least in Georgia area, you know.
Yeah, the economies of scale, you know, not only your awareness of the patient experience and efficiencies and personal touch and transparency, you're saying things that the industry has been talking about for 25 years. And the organizations that are implementing it now are going to be the leaders, and the smaller organizations that either aren't interested in or don't have the wherewithal to implement that change,
Yep.
they're going to look at an opportunity to exit, and the best are going to get bigger, and that's a good thing. I think.
Yeah.
I think for the patient of the future, knowing that a medical group that gets it is going to be the one serving them and running that practice, I think is a positive thing. Your thoughts?
So let me mention this one thing. I don't know if you know the landscape of Atlanta, but I would say about 35 to 40 to 45% of pediatricians in Atlanta are over 60. So guess what? They are going to retire in the next 3 to 5 to whatever 7 years. So how will you fill this gap? That's a huge number. So you need technology, to provide care conveniently. And so if you don't have that, and you have all these walls, and you're still on paper chart, guess what? You're going to be thing of the past, So that's definitely a big challenge in the healthcare today. And it's not just in the Atlanta. If Atlanta represents, I would say, represent the US. If it's happening here, it's happening everywhere.
That's right.
So just imagine 40% of pediatricians retiring in the next so many years. What happens then? So,
Right.
And education is not getting cheaper. All these, we're not producing as many doctors, so the challenge is going to just grow bigger and bigger. So we have to take technology seriously. We have to take AI seriously.
Faisal, let's shift the conversation for a moment to like personal growth. Like, what do you look for? Who do you look to for inspiration, motivation? Who inspires you? Thought leaders, authors. What do you look for inspiration?
I'm blessed to have a really good partner. She has really changed my mind, and she has really, my wife has really helped me improve my health. And the other thing is, if your health is not in good shape, your brain's not going to work properly, you will always be struggling. So since I have made that change, things are doing better. And I listen to a lot of books. That gives me a lot of inspiration. Yes, I listen to a lot of biographies. Like I just recently listened to Barack Obama's book, The Dreams from My Father. Loved it.
Okay.
What a journey he has explained. I don't know if you've listened to that book, but an outstanding book. I would recommend it to anyone. If I may say, that guy had the worst situations. He didn't had his father. His mother married to another man in Indonesia, and he was living with his grandparents in the US, African American, also white American, mixed identity. Just imagine growing up in that kind of, environment, and you don't see a lot of future, and you don't have a lot of guidance, but then you become president of the country. So, amazing books like that, really inspire you, and like, hey, who am I to complain? I have all the opportunities, I came from a background too where I no one believed in me in the beginning, but then they started. Yeah.
Where'd you grow up, Faisal?
I grew up in Pakistan.
Okay.
I was born in Pakistan, in a remote area of Pakistan, and grew up there. And my father was here, so he sponsored us, but it took a long time. So I was 18 or 19 when I moved to the US. And to be very honest, I didn't speak English fluently. And my father was just like, hey, go get a degree, whatever it is, So there was not a lot of guidance, but obviously he worked so hard for us to bring us here, to give us the right opportunity. And all my siblings are successful. One of my brother is, he's what do you call it? He's in biotech, but he's like a international leader in that organization. So he takes care of projects in Europe and other places.
Wow.
My other brother, he leads a very large organization here in Georgia. We are all in healthcare, fortunately, So, but yeah, they did a great job. They gave us the best opportunities they could, So we are very appreciative of them.
Well, we've got some specific experience, Bill, where we recently recruiting and hiring and having great success with new team members.
Right. Yeah, we're big fans of Pakistan and the people's commitment to serve and to learn and to grow. It's been an absolutely amazing endeavor for us, and we're able to expand and grow and keep our prices in line with a lot of our competitors. I think that's becoming more and more of a focus today, is to be able to offer an outstanding service at an affordable price. Our ability to do that's been a real difference maker.
Yeah, our two newest team members are from Pakistan and operate from Pakistan, and their work ethic, their skill level, it's impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would say, like, give them the opportunity, let them open their wings, whenever you believe in your employees, they will deliver, they will go above and beyond, so
yeah.
I'm happy that you guys are very open to Pakistan,
We're super impressed. It's been great for us. And we belong to a mastermind called Seven Figure Agency. And Bill and I attended a live event back in July. And we were introduced to the company that sources the talent out of Pakistan. And, we met one of the founders and, at the event. And shortly after, he contacted us and we started interviewing people and bringing them on. And so far, we're very hopeful. I mean, we have a lot of growth plans, and that's going to be a part of it is the talent that we're finding there. Their skill level is extremely high. Their desire to work and they're just very, very good people, and we're very pleased with the talent we're getting there.
Do you know where they're from in Pakistan?
Bill?
It's a great question. I couldn't tell you from memory. I did have conversations with each of them, and we discussed their families and their upbringing and their education and their experience. And I know I've heard where both Alina and Harim both live, but I can't recall right now.
And most likely they'll be in one of the cities. I'll guess, but you can correct me after you check. Most likely they'll be either from Lahore or Islamabad. Those are the two main cities people are moving to, because there are a lot of employment opportunities and new developments and things like that. But
I thought Harim said she was from a mountainous region, Bill.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're neither of those cities ring a bell, but I will report back. Definitely. Very, very exciting. And I can't wait for you to meet him as well.
Yeah. Harim is, she's actually getting married right now. So she's taking 2 weeks off. She should be coming back soon. She's been getting married. So
congratulations to her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She showed us pictures. We'll be posting photos as soon as we get them on our Facebook. We'll be celebrating her. So that's very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, any final questions? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, any other people that inspire you, Faisal, that you look for, speakers, or again, podcasts that you listen to for inspiration? I love the fact that do you have an Audible account? Is that where you listen?
I do. Yeah.
Bill and I are big fans.
Yeah, I have that yearly subscription, so I have to use those credits. It's forcing me to listen to.
Do you have drive time, or do you go to the office, or do you operate at the house?
I do have a drive time, 30 to 40 minutes. So on the way there, on the way back, it's always an Audible book.
Yep. Yeah. Myself as well.
Yeah.
Well, this has been absolutely outstanding. Listen, Faisal, on behalf of Chris and myself and the entire team globally of Reputation Sensei by Digital Media Nation, we'd like to express our sincere gratitude for the graciousness, the time, the invaluable wisdom that you had to share today. Everyone who watches and views will be better for it, and I can't thank you enough. Take care.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you, Faisal.
All right, take care.
That's all for this episode of the Sensei Playbook. May these strategies help you build a powerful business roadmap and dominate the online marketplace right now. Be sure not to miss another episode jam-packed with valuable advice from our marketing martial artists, Bill and Chris, by subscribing to the podcast at podcast.reputationsensei.com. Don't forget to share with your friends and fellow entrepreneurs who also aspire for massive business success. Thank you for listening. Until next time.